G'day guys, got a cool old Bandit style Trans Am in today. It's a bit of a sad story though. Customer had it at another shop. They called him to say they'd done all they could and told him to come pick it up, which he did, and this is what he's got. It's a bit of a mess. There's no gauges, no cluster. We've got gauges hanging out down here on strange brackets, lots of spare wires. Air conditioning ducting. We've got a big hole in the tunnel underneath where the center console is supposed to go. So apparently that big hole is okay, but I don't think so. Anyway, let's get it up on the rack and see what lies beneath. Under the hood, doesn't look too bad. We've got a serpentine belt drive here, which is quite nice. They've upgraded the radiator. They've got a hydraulic clutch reservoir hanging on the booster there, which looks a little off. But it looks like we've got good components. It's just a matter of pulling them together and getting it executed correctly. Looking underneath, we've got a bad oil leak going on up here. Appears to be the power steering. It was making a racket when we pulled it in. Shouldn't be too hard to fix. A little further back, the bell housing for the trimmer 6-speed. They've left the bolts out. Come on guys, they're supposed to be there. The manufacturers supply you the bolts. Put them in. Moving on back to the mount. I guess they didn't have bolts short enough, so they put oversized nuts over the bolts to act as spacers. It's just not good. A little bit further back, bracket welded on for the trans mount. It's just welded on one side. Nothing here, nothing here. Bad form. Up here, we got the little sensors for the transmission. This controls reverse lights and reverse lockout. Now they need to be wired up. If you don't, it overloads the shifter. It puts an undue load on the shifter trying to get it into reverse. So we need to do that. Now, one thing I did notice driving this car in, pretty much an absence of rear brakes. Any brakes for that matter. So, wanted to have a little look here. Got a nice 9-inch quick performance rear end in it. They've done that right. Look what we find here. This is the e-brake cable. Well, you know, e-brake cable without an e-brake doesn't do a lot. There's e-brake in here in this Willwood rear disc conversion, but one, they put it in upside down. Two, it's not connected. So we've got to remedy that. Looking at the rear rotors, there's some real metal to metal action been going on here, which is never good. Around the back to the calipers, these have just burnt up. There's no linings left on it. It's metal to metal. That's why the rotors are shredded. Now, that's really odd. This conversion has not been on the car long enough for it to wear out the rear brakes. Not even close. It's maybe done a few hundred miles. So something's been going on. Most likely that the brakes have been hanging on, dragging. Something's not been set up correctly in the brakes somewhere. We've got to get to the bottom of that. Can't be replacing pads and rotors every 100 miles. So, yeah, we've got a few things to get done, get it right. It's not that bad. It's not that good. What I will say is if this had been the Bandit's car, he wouldn't have made it out of the first chase scene. See you guys.